I'm going to ask you a question really fast. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to watch this video if you resonate with this question. And if you don't, I still love you. You can stick around. But if you don't, I still love you anyway. But this is the question. Is you're trying to manifest, you're working really hard manifesting, but how can you manifest if you're not in the perfect environment? Because you always hear that you have to be in a great environment. Like your environment will rub off on you. So if you're not in the greatest environment right now, how can you live life on your terms? And how can you really bend reality to manifest your dream life? So if this question resonates with you, stick around. That's what we're going to talk about. And by the way, I'm Chad, by the way. Welcome to Live Life on Your Terms. I can't sleep, so this thought was in my head and I wanted to share it with you. So I know the lighting might be bad, but it's about the information. And yes, to kind of get to the core point of the question, yes, manifesting seems to kind of speed up when you actually put yourself in the best environment, okay? I mean, that's just hands down. I mean, when you're around a better environment, you're hanging around a better environment, you go into a better gym, you're going to better coffee places, you're going out to eat at better places. What happens is that you're around a better group of people. Let's put it that way, okay? You're around a higher caliber of people. And if everything is energy, everybody's interconnected in higher consciousness, see, that kind of rubs off on you, okay? But the main dilemma is we have to start somewhere. You get me on that? And this might be where your dilemma is, because you have to start somewhere. You can't just put yourself in these perfect environments which cost more money. Let's be obvious here, okay? And this is what most people don't want to kind of put out there. I mean, to be in these better environments, it costs more money. To live in California, live in LA, live in Beverly Hills, it costs more money, baby. To live in Dubai, it costs more money. Bottom line, to go to a better gym, it costs more money. Okay, to go to country clubs where millionaires hang out, well, guess what? It costs more money, and it costs a lot of money. It might cost you $100 grand just to be part of that club. On top of that, that's not even the only thing you spend. It costs $1,000 a month just for maintenance fees. You know what I mean? So I'm not sugarcoating it. Yes, if you're in a better environment, yes, it's going to speed you up because you're just going to hang around a better caliber person that's going places and stuff like that. That's going to rub off on you. But the biggest thing here is what I really want to share in this video is what happens you can't do that because you're starting from the bottom. You're starting from where you are. You're starting from where everybody starts at. You know what I mean? So the biggest thing what you have to understand is that even for me right now, I'm in Thailand, I live abroad, I travel abroad. I love traveling, been doing it for 20, 25 years. But even right now in Thailand, I gave up my condo since, probably 6 months ago. It's been 6 months now. We came up to Surin. This is Ang's house. And we kind of came up here for it started off only a few months, but we're still here. But anyway, we came up here just because her dad wasn't doing very good health-wise, and just come up here and be with him. But since we actually been up here, his health actually really turned around. It's been kind of really kind of glad to see and really helpful to see, and Ang's really excited that his health really turned around. So, but again, being up in Surin, it's a Thai village, and to be honest, it's not how I usually live. It's not my perfect environment. Like when I walk around outside, it's hot as shit. The humidity is fierce. And being up in northern Thailand, you're away from the coastal cities. You're away from the ocean. That gives you more of that ocean breeze. Most people up here are alcoholics. You know what I mean? So you're walking around, you're just seeing people stumbling around, walking, waving to you. Yes, I'm nice to them. And I'm not being negative in this video, but I'm just pointing out, like right now, I would say I'm probably not in my perfect environment. Okay. But what I want to share with you is what you have to understand is about this is life is happening for you. Okay. Life is happening for your benefit. And it's taken me a long time to figure this stuff out. And yes, I've heard this stuff over and over and over and over and over. And sometimes we can repeat it. Sometimes people will say, Well, Chad, I've heard this before. I heard it 10 years ago. Life is happening for you. Life is happening for your benefit. And sometimes you repeat it to somebody, but you really don't believe it yourself. Okay. You whine and complain too much. You whine and complain what's happening in your environment. You whine and complain because you have a shitty job. Okay. You whine and complain because you go to a shitty place to work out. Okay. You whine and complain because you're driving a beater upper. You know what I mean? Rather than switching it, listen to me. You need to switch it. You need to sit there and say, I'm in a perfect place right now. Right now, what's going on in my life? Right now, what's going on in your life? Life is happening for you. Life is happening for your benefit. There's something for you to learn. Now, once you learn it, you can move on from it. See, that's the greatest thing. Once you get to a point where life is happening for me, you get me on this? And even for myself, I'll share this experience with you. Even for myself, coming up here, uh, one, life is happening for me because I get to learn how Thai people live, how locals really live. I get to learn a lot about Thai real estate. I get to learn how they really build these Thai houses, which they cut corners and build them cheap. I mean, most of these Thai houses are just hot boxes, heat boxes. I mean, that's why most of the time I'm wearing like thin shirts and tank tops, stuff like that. And no matter how much air conditioning you're running, once you turn that baby off, boom, within 1 minute it's hot. Okay. And so that's what I mean. Like when I'm up here, there's things for me to learn, for me to take away from. Because I'm always involved with real estate. I'm always involved with success. I'm always involved with how things are working. You know what I mean? Especially if you live in Asia. Okay. I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm constantly learning and growing. And another thing like I've done while I was here, since I'm really away from distractions, because there's little, and when I say there's nothing to do here, I'm not flipping joking. I mean, you tend to kind of sit there and think like, well, there's nothing for Thai people to do. There's nothing for locals to do when they're up here in these Thai villages besides drink. You know what I mean? So you get to see more of the reality of the picture. And it is true. There's nothing for them to do. When I'm here, there's nothing for me to do besides work and work on myself. And that's one of the greatest things I kind of been walking away with here is that I'm basically in this zone right now, this work zone. It's either I'm working on my brand, then on top of that, I'm working on me because I don't have none of these distractions. I mean, we don't even have a TV here. Now, granted, I could go out and buy a TV, plain and simple, but I didn't. You know what I mean? Because I thought it would be good without TV and distractions and stuff like that. Now, I've had days up here where I'm just literally like almost going crazy because I want to do something. You get me on that? But when I kind of come back to my senses, is that, well, life is happening for me. Life is happening for my benefit. Okay, there's something that's happening right now for me to walk away with that's a positive. See, what happens is you got to stop looking at the negative all the time. Okay, what's happening is what you're doing is you're reacting to the negative. You're reacting to things that you don't like. You're bringing emotion to things that you don't like. And guess what? Okay, I'm going to ask you another question here. How does the subconscious mind work? Do you know this? If you don't know this, you need to dig on my channel right now if you're still listening to this. Okay, I've done a lot of subconscious mind videos on this. And listen, the subconscious mind doesn't play favorites. That's the raw truth of it. It doesn't care about you, your subconscious mind. That's how you have to look at it. Your subconscious mind doesn't care if it's true or false. It doesn't care if it's right or wrong. It doesn't care if it's best for you or not. It literally just gives you what you give it. So look at it this way. If you're catching yourself that you're whining and complaining all day long, you're whining and complaining about your situation, you're whining and complaining about things that you don't like, okay? And that's what majority of people's thoughts are around. But that's a self-reflection. It's a mirror principle. That's what's actually coming into your life, okay? Because that's what you bring in attention to. You bring attention to it, your subconscious mind thinks, well, I must like it, so it brings you more of it. Because you're not grasping the principle I'm talking about right here. You're not grasping the principle of life is happening for you, baby. Life is happening for your benefit. Bottom line, Okay, now the third part of this I want to add in before we go here is that what you need to do is you need to stop looking for the how, and I'm gonna combine this. You need to stop reacting to your environment. You need to stop reacting to negative things happening in your environment. Okay, and I'll give you two examples here. The biggest thing is you're looking for the how. Okay, like if you love Never Goddard, you love like old school. I'm gonna grab a piece of fruit here while I talk to you. If you love old school prosperity teachers, guess what? You love like Never Goddard. When you're looking for the how, you're not living in the end. You're not acting as if. You're not being that most successful version of you if you're constantly looking for it. You get me? Because that most successful version of you, if you truly already have it, why in the hell are you looking for it? You know what I mean? So all that means is you got a lot of work to do. Okay, I'm not sugarcoating it for you. You got a lot of work to do. I'm gonna eat a piece of fruit here. This is mangosteen. This is the queen of the fruits in Thailand. Okay, so you got a lot of work to do. Okay, what you gotta do is when I say you gotta be that most successful version of you. If you want to manifest your dream car, your dream house, you want to be a multimillionaire, a successful entrepreneur, your dream job, whatever you want your dream career. What you are, the basis is once you think about it, once you see it in your imagination. What that means is, the great news is you can have it. Okay, the only separation is you believing you have it. Simple as that. What does that mean? Is Never Goddard sense, you live in the end. You pretend, you act as if. You already have it. Once you think about it, once you see it in your imagination, you already have it. And you carry yourself, you act as a person who already has what you want. What does that mean? You act successful. You carry yourself. What decisions? How are your conversations? What are your level of conversations? Who are you going to hang out with? What do your friends talk? When you conversation, what do you talk about all the time? Make sense? Okay. You gotta start being that person who has what you want. Okay. And stop getting up every day and looking for it. Bottom line. Okay. Because that most successful. Listen, if you already have a car right now, no matter if it's not your dream car, you already have a car. Well, you're not getting up every day thinking about your car. You're not getting up every day thinking about and looking for it in your garage or your parking lot or whatever. You're not. Okay. You when you have something, it's just kind of out of sight, out of mind. Trust me. Okay. Trust me on this. Okay. Now, part two to this, remember I said, you got to stop reacting to your 3D world. You got to stop reacting to negative things. Okay. This is the mangosteen. It looks like a little brain in there. These are, these are crazy flipping sweet. If you got a sweet tooth, eat one of these, take your sweetness away. Okay. But this is the thing you're doing. Okay. For example, I'll give you an example here because I'm sure this has happened to everybody at one time in their life. And if it hasn't, hopefully it doesn't happen to you. You get me on that? But I mean, let's say you're getting ready for work. You go outside, get in your car. As you're walking outside, you notice your back tire is flipping flat. Okay, what do you do in those situations? I'm going to let you think here while I'm making a mess with this fruit. What do you do in those situations? You know, you go outside, you're ready to go to work. It's going to be a busy day. It's going to be hectic for work. And you've already pretty much called off all you can call off. Now you go outside and you have a flat tire. Do you just shrug it off? See, this is what I mean. What would you really do? Be honest with yourself. What would you really do? Okay. And this is what I mean. Okay. Once you're honest with yourself and you answer this question internally or out loud, okay, this is what I mean. Don't give energy to negative things. Walk around it. Okay. Okay. So basically what I would do is if I go out, saw a flat tire, you know, think of it this way. Think like, well, you know what? It's keeping me off the roads. It's keeping me safe. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't be on the road at this time. It's keeping me safe. Okay. That's like it's happening for you. It's happening for your benefit, but it's keeping you home. It's keeping you safe right now. Okay. Rather than thinking, listen to this one, rather than thinking, oh my God, that's going to be $250 to fix the tire. This stuff always happens to me. Okay, every time I try to get ahead, this happens. Okay. Do you have this internal dialogue going on? And if you do, you got to stop it right now, because that's why it keeps on happening. Because you're basically failing the test. You know, things are kind of coming in your life and you're failing pretty much. Okay. Until one day, one day something happens and you bring no emotion to it. You just look at it and you say, what's in this situation that's happening for me, for my benefit? And you pull something out and you say, yes, it's keeping me home because it doesn't want me on the road right now. Maybe there's a big crash that just saved my life. Okay. And that's what you walk around with. Okay. You just bring no emotion to it. You just walk around. You deal with it, of course, but you deal with it with no emotion. You don't bring no emotion to it. Okay. That's the key thing, is stop bringing emotion to things that keep on happening. When it's bill time, for example, a lot of you, when it's bill time, you go to pay your bills. Either it happens in the first of the month or the middle of the month. And my mom used to do this, and I got after my mom for this, is because my mom's older. The trash is over here. That's why I keep on walking back and forth. My mom's older, but every time, and she paid her bills very old fashioned. So every time she would go pay her bills in the middle of the month, she would literally do one of these, be walking in the kitchen. She'd be like, it's bill time. I got to pay all my bills. I mean, she would literally like act like a little kid, like a temper tantrum. You get me? And she brought so much negative energy to it. And I told her, Mom, like, life is happening for you. Yes, you got a lot of debt. Yes, you have a lot of bills. Whatever. Okay, she also makes a lot of money. But I said, you know, when you sit down and pay your bills, bless your bills. Say things like, thank you, Lord, I have the money to pay my bills. Thank you, Lord, every time I pay my bills, money comes back to me double. Thank you, Lord, every time I pay, thank you, Lord, I have money to pay my bills. Okay, when you go grocery shopping, you know, I can buy anything I want in here. Thank you. Thank you. Every time I spend money, money comes back to me double. Someone rips you off. Thank you, they ripped me off. That just means I'm repaid by 7 times. It's how you're interpreting this stuff. Okay. This takes a little bit of work. It's not easy, but it's how you're interpreting it. Okay. It's what you're telling yourself in secret, the secret you. It's what you're complaining to your best friends about. Okay. That keeps on happening and reoccurring in your life. And as we wrap this up, let me give you another nugget here. And after I give you this nugget, we're going to wrap this baby up. So I'm getting sleepy. But anyway, another thing what I would really work on, especially if you're not in the greatest environment, is go inside your imagination. Like I said in the beginning, it's that perfect, it's that higher self. It's that most successful version of you. What would they be doing? How would they be living? How would they be spending their money? What type of conversations would they have? What type of decisions would they be making? What type of thoughts you would be thinking all day long? What would you be doing? Okay. Now, what you don't want to do, you don't want to take this concept and lead it to Howville. You know, you start looking for the how again. Okay. You start waiting anxiously, because remember, once you set an intention, once you imagine it, once you can see imagination, it can be yours 100%. Once you see it in the 4D world, it's only just a matter of time before you see it in your 3D world. You have to understand, you have to truly believe this. Okay. If you see your imagination, you can have it. But you see your imagination, you live in your imagination, you live in your 4D world. Now, what's going on in your 3D world is just in a simulation. Okay? Anything going on that you don't like, you revise your day. Okay? If your day don't go perfectly, you got in major arguments with your boss, when you go home, you lay down at bed at night, you rehearse your day, but you live the perfect day. Okay? You replay it in your mind, but you revise it. You revise it in a way how you wanted it to go. Okay, this is called the revision technique. Okay, you look at that technique, like I've done a lot of videos on this as well on my channel. Okay, that way I don't have to go into it here. There's a revision technique. Another technique you can do when you lay down, don't make this overcomplicated. It's what you're thinking. Listen, it's what you're thinking 5 minutes before you go to sleep. Bottom line. Okay, once you get into that drift, okay, this is what Neville Goddard called the drift, is once you got into the drift, okay, the drift is kind of, you're in between. You're super sleepy. You're kind of, your conscious mind is going to sleep. And your subconscious, when your conscious mind starts going to sleep, your subconscious mind starts to take over. So this is called the drift. Okay, it's basically where you're really drowsy, and within 5 minutes, you're going to go to sleep. It's really what you're thinking about 5 minutes before you go to sleep in this drift, okay? What is super important. So it doesn't matter when you go to bed. You don't have to go to bed 30 minutes before you go to sleep to try to get into this state, okay? You don't have to do it. It's literally what you're thinking about 5 minutes before you go to bed. So I can stay up, watch TV, do what I want, but even if I walk into my bed and I'm really tired, I'm just going to like lay down and go to sleep within 3 minutes. I've trained myself where when I lay down, I'm thinking about that most successful version of Chad. Okay, I'm thinking, I'm carrying myself. I'm living that lifestyle, what I want in my imagination. Okay, then I fall asleep in that state. That's the same thing you should be doing. Okay, that's how you get out of your environments. Because once you influence your subconscious mind, and once you let go of this, we didn't talk about letting go, but once you truly let it go and you let it be and you stop controlling the how, you stop looking for it, like guaranteed, lots of times when you just truly let it go, truly forget about it, truly just carry yourself as a person you want to be, and you're not even giving two fucks about anything else. Guaranteed 100% within a few weeks, what you want's going to come to you. And what you have to understand, once you influence your subconscious mind, there's no logic to this stuff. There's no logic. Okay, things just happen out of the blue. You could be grocery shopping, run into somebody. You running into that one person changes your life. You get me on that? It puts you in the environment that you want. Okay, you could run into a person and they're looking for somebody. They're a CEO of a company. And they're looking for someone just like you. Just because you ran into them, they liked you, they brought you in an interview, you showed up, they gave you the job, you make twice as much money, and it puts you in a perfect spot of your perfect environment that you want. I mean, there's no logic to this stuff. You got to stop being so logical. There's no logic. Okay. But anyway, my friends, YouTube fam and tribe, thanks for sticking around. If you stuck to it this long, I'm going to get around. I'm going to finish my mangosteen here, lay down, get relaxed, and kind of go to sleep. But I just want to share that with you before I went to bed, because there's something kind of in the back of my mind. But anyway, if you want to reach out to me, everything's in the description. If you want to work with me, the link is in the description. If you want to be part of the tribe, the link is in the description. Again, I got other nuggets in the description to check out. So always check out the description. And anyway, love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.